Hi guys, it's Nana. I thought I would read you one of Olivia's favorite books, Chip and Dale's New Home. Olivia, you know we read this one a lot at Nana's house, huh? But I thought that Charles and Roman would probably like it too. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. And hopefully you'll be able to watch it before you go to bed tonight. And then when we get home next Wednesday, maybe we can read it together then too. So this is the story of Chip and Dale. They're two little chipmunks and they're looking for a new home. In the back of Donald Duck's garden near a lake was an old tool shed, and it was the home of two small chipmunks named Chip and Dale. It may need fixing up, said Chip, and it may need painting, said Dale, but it's still home sweet home, they said together. See how funny they are. But one day, Chip and Dale heard voices outside. It was Donald Duck and his three nephews, Huey, Louie, and Dewey. May we have a sailboat, Uncle Donald, said Huey. We could sail it all over the lake, said Louie, and then we could have so many adventures, said Dewey. It's out of the question, said Uncle Donald. Sailboats cost way too much money. But it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, said Huey. We could build it ourselves, said Louie. Just give us the lumber from the old shed, said Dewey. Well, said Uncle Donald, the shed is old and we really don't use it for anything, so I don't see why you can't use it to build a boat. The next morning, Huey, Louie, and Dewey began to take down the shed. Bang! Crash! They pulled out the nails and knocked all the boards apart. The noise frightened Chip and Dale, and as the walls came tumbling down, they ran away as fast as they could. See them down here, running away? Chip and Dale stood in the grass by the tree and watched as their home was destroyed. Well, this is terrible, said Chip. Yes, said Dale, but we must try to make the best of it. So later, when the boys were gone, Chip and Dale made a new house among the boards that were lying on the ground. That was when Huey, Dewey, and Louie had already left. But day by day, as the boys worked on their boat, there were fewer and fewer boards left. Soon, Chip and Dale had lost their home again. One evening, when the boat was finally finished, Chip and Dale went aboard to get a closer look. Well, it is a different kind of house, said Chip, but I think it'll do. Yes, indeed, said Dale. Let's move in. They found a cozy spot inside the cabin of the boat, and they moved in with all their things. And soon they were fast asleep on a comfortable coil of rope. The next day, Donald, Daisy, and the three nephews all came down to sail the boat. But first, Louie painted a name on it, and they called the boat the Wild Duck, and no one knew that the two chipmunks were on board, sleeping. Daisy Duck came down to help name the boat, and she swung a bottle hard towards the bow. This is the way they name big ships, she said, but instead she hit Donald Duck in the head instead of the boat. So for a minute, he didn't even know where he was. Meanwhile, Daisy and the boys climbed into the boat. Wait for me, said Donald, and he climbed a rope and got into the boat. When the boat started to move, Chip and Dale woke up. Help, what's happening, they said. They ran up on the deck. We're out on the lake, said Chip. Nobody saw Chip and Dale. The boys were too busy sailing, and Daisy was steering the boat, and Donald Duck was bossing everybody around. It's fun to sail, said Chip, but we need sailor suits, said Dale. So when no one was looking, they cut some cloth out of the sail, and then they made a fine sailor suit for each other. When Donald Duck saw the holes in the sail, he was furious. We have stowaways on board, he shouted. Wait until I get my hands on them. They look pretty cute in their sailor suits, huh? Chip and Dale were afraid, and they ran down to the cabin to hide. And when they got down there, they found a table loaded with all kinds of food. This looks delicious, said Chip. Let's eat, said Dale, and so they did. Donald, Daisy, and Dewey were very angry when they found that their food had all been eaten. This has gone too far, said Donald. I must find those pests, but the two chipmunks had hidden again. Not long after, a storm came up and big waves rocked the boat, and Daisy and Donald and the nephews felt very sick. The two chipmunks were sick too, and oh, we need some fresh air, they said. So the chipmunks found a knothole, which is like a hole in the wood. Let's try to knock it out, said Dale. 1, 2, 3, push. And they pushed out the knothole, and water poured out of the bottom of the boat. We gotta get out of here, said Chip. Hold around. The bottom of the boat was soon filled with water. Help, we're sinking, said Huey. He and Dewey began scooping the water out with buckets. Head for the shore, shouted Donald Duck, with Daisy steering the boat in the direction of land. The storm grew worse, and no one knew where they were, and the rain poured down, and the lightning flashed, and the waves got higher. Suddenly, one of the waves pushed the boat up on shore. Let's turn the boat over, said Donald, so we can at least get out of the rain, and when it stops, we can find out where we are. So Huey, Louie, and Dewey helped push the boat over. By this time, they were all very tired, so they crawled under the boat and curled up to take a nap. Everybody's sleeping. But Chip and Dale didn't fall asleep. They were mad. I've had enough of this boat, said Chip. Yes, said Dale. I don't want to be a sailor anymore. So they started to break the boat apart. They kicked it and they broke off pieces of it, and then they pulled all the nails out. Donald, Daisy, and the nephews woke up the next morning and crawled out from under the boat. And when they looked around, they were happy to see that they were home. The Wild Duck is a good boat, said Donald. It's brought us right back home where we started from. He patted the bottom of the boat. Bang, crash. The whole thing fell down around his head because the chipmunks had taken out all the nails. Right there. Huey, Louie, and Dewey could not help but laugh, but then they said, don't worry, Uncle Donald. We were tired of sailing anyway. We'll build you a new shed with the wood. Well, there's plenty of it, said Donald. So Huey, Louie, and Dewey started working right away, and they built a fine new shed where the old shed had been. When they were finished, they painted it bright red, and it was a beautiful shed with new windows and a new door. As soon as it was finished, Chip and Dale moved in with all their stuff. At last, we're back in our home, sweet home, said Chip. And doesn't everything look nice, said Dale. But several days later, Chip and Dale looked out the window and saw Huey, Louie, and Dewey again coming towards the shed with their tools. Oh, no. I think the wood from the shed will make a fine spaceship, said Louie. Oh, brother, said Dale. Here we go again. Okay, the end. Hope you guys have a good day tomorrow and a good sleep tonight. Don't forget to say your prayers. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. May God guard me through the night and wake me with the morning light. Thanks. Nana loves you, and I'll be home soon. Peppa loves you too. Bye.